Hey there, everybody. Welcome into a Friday edition of ESPN FC's Extra Time. Craig Burley, very happy to be here in the studio with me.
Tweet out earlier for any questions, and I really put, please send some decent ones in.
You know, I think we got some decent ones today. I think we got some decent ones. Yeah,
maybe people do send decent ones in our filtering department.
Oh, we have a filtering? Oh, is that what we call the producers? The filtering department?
Filtering department are not giving us the best ones.
We've got Shaka, Hislop, Stewart Robson with us as well. First question comes from Liverpool royalty.
Shaka's just come in from a run.
Yeah? Good. Okay, that's why he's out of breath. Why was Hansi Flick denied the FIFA Best Men's Coach Award? I mean, Klopp's Liverpool did win the Premier League in 2020 by a considerable margin, but surely winning 5 trophies can outshine that. Robbo, what do you think? Should Flick have been the manager of the year?
I like Hansi Flick. He turned Bayern Munich around when they were struggling under the previous manager. He won in a certain style. They played some fantastic football. They defended like nobody else had defended up to that point with that high offside line. And he turned them round. So I would give it to Hansi Flick. I'm fed up with Klopp's moaning and whining, a bit like Craig is. So, yeah, give it to Hansi Flick.
Should have been denied it just for that.
That's a tiebreaker right there.
You know what should have happened? Jurgen Klopp should have turned up, but it probably wasn't. If it was an event, he had to be there.
No, they had him on.
They should have handed him 5 subs. So there you go.
So what would he have done? Not used them?
There's your 5 subs. And also, they should have made the event an early kick-off event.
Right.
You know, at 7 o'clock in the morning or something, just to annoy him even more.
Yeah, I love it.
Bayern, he turned that ship around big time.
I mean, Klopp had a great season, whatever.
So what was it? Who votes in these things? I mean, some of the plums that vote in these things, we don't give it the time of day.
All right, next question I love. Gentlemen, what usually happens behind the cameras when a player is sent off? Is he confined to the dressing room and all he can do is wash up and wait for the match to finish? What was it like to be sent off in your era? Any interesting stories or dressing room shenanigans? World Cup, what happened when you got sent off?
What happened?
Yeah.
Well, this gentleman wearing black, he went in his pocket and he got this red thing, right? So I walked.
No one ever takes me seriously on the show until Craig takes me literally when I don't.
No, so I'll tell you what happens. So you're not allowed to sit on the bench. So I went straight down the tunnel. We were losing anyway, 2-0, so I didn't really give a stuff. And so I went in, had a shower, came out, had a cup of tea, some biscuits lying around. So I thought, oh, I'll have some biscuits. And then I just sat in the dressing room and waited for my colleagues to come in off the field.
All right.
And then I sat there and said nothing. What can you say? Well, you know, it's happened.
Robbo, any crazy sending off stories and maybe what happens after you leave the pitch?
Yeah, I only got sent off the once, and that was on Boxing Day when I was just 18 against Tottenham, and I committed 2 horrendous tackles, one on Graham Roberts, which I think pleased most Arsenal fans, and I got standing ovation as I went off the field. Unfortunately, with 10 minutes ago, we were 1-0 up and we won the game 2-0. I was waiting for Don Howe to come in at the end of the game, and I knew what was coming, and he pinned me against the wall, and don't ever do that again. You could have lost us the game, all that sort of stuff. And as an 18-year-old, I didn't do it again. So that was a good lesson learned.
Shaka, any good red card stories?
Yeah, first of all, I've been sent off more times than Robbo. I've been sent off twice in my career. The first time, playing for West Ham at home to Chelsea, we actually had 3 players sent off. I was the second of those. The first was Ian Wright. Ian Wright got sent off in the first half. And as it turned out, which I found out after the game, Wrighty walked in, kicked the door in for the referee's changing rooms, went into the referee's room and totally ransacked it. Totally. And then the stewards went in after Ian Wright left the room, obviously. They went in and tried to tidy everything back up and hang all the referees' clothes back up and their pegs and whatnot. But they realized something was wrong because all the wrong wallets were in the wrong jackets, and they realized something was totally wrong and reported it to the FA. And that's how it came out, what happened, that Ian Wright just went in and totally turned their dressing room upside down. West Ham got in trouble as a result, despite them trying to keep it quiet. That's as good a story as I can give.
What were you sent off for, Shaka? You said you were sent off twice. What were you sent off for?
Well, that one was Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank got clean through. I come out. He tipped it around me. I didn't make contact. I protest my innocence to this day. But Jimmy Floyd, being Jimmy Floyd, went over rather theatrically. He got sent off. As I said, that was his second send-off in that game. Steve Lomas was sent off later on. And then my second sending off was played away to Middlesbrough. And what was they had a Colombian, what was his name, up at Borough, striker.
Hamilton Ricard.
Came through.
Yeah, Hamilton Ricard.
That's the one.
See ya. Hey.
Ball gets played over the top. I come out. He gets there before me. I'm just trying to block his path now. He drills it straight at my face. Instinctively, I kind of put an arm up, block it. Referee set me off. Uriah Rennie was the referee for that game. From the time I handed the ball, I just turned and started walking straight off. Yeah, just turned around in time to see the red card. So that was 2.
Shaka, I think this sums up your career. Clumsy and a coward. I think that sums up the 2 sendings off.
Wow, Robbo, off the top rope out of nowhere on Shaka. Okay.
Wow. I did get sent off.
Moving on.
I did get sent off another time. It was right at the end of my career when I went to Dundee, but I must admit, I only got sent off on that occasion because I wanted to get an early train back to Nottingham.
So you actually had a plan for what you were going to do afterwards?
Yeah, I needed
Did you
to
leave
get
the stadium before the game was over?
There's a rumour.
Really?
No, I didn't know.
Come
I'm not
on.
that professional.
Had the cab waiting and everything.
What does Robbo make of that? I'd like to know what Robbo makes of that.
Yeah, how do we sum up Craig's career in 2 words?
I fully understand why he wanted to get home early. He's got a lovely wife at home. That's why he wanted to get home.
Oh man.
So what was he said? What was it he said? Clumsy and a coward.
I'm a coward, man. So you're gonna have to change that Twitter profile.
We'll blow that.
That's harsh. All right, Robbo, who's been more influential to AC Milan's success so far this season, Bennacer or Kessie?
Kessie has been absolutely magnificent in midfield. He's been one of the star players of Serie A. I always thought he was just a dynamic player who got from box to box, but he's shown good quality on the ball. He's shown great understanding. He's learnt the game over the last couple of years. He's more disciplined. He's been really, really good for AC Milan, and he's one player they can't afford to be injured.
Shaka, why don't we get to see more goalkeeper managers? They have the best view in the ground to analyze how a game progresses. Surely that must help them develop a tactical manager brain by the end of their careers. Do you have a tactical manager brain, Shaka?
It's a game-wide goalkeeper bias, Sebastian.
It's a conspiracy.
You see that play out daily. That's right. You see that play out daily. On ESPN FC.
They could stand there. They could stand there for 90 minutes, 24 hours a day. They would not have a clue what's going on. They were born without brains in their head. They didn't have brains. They can't, they can't compute. I mean, they can barely get the gloves on.
Goalkeepers can't even train with their teammates.
That's why you don't. A goalkeeper could look at a goalkeeper could be stood on the bench, looking onto the field, and he just wouldn't know what he's looking at.
No,
you don't. Honestly, he'd be looking at it. He'd be thinking, "What movie am I looking at here?"
Like when my wife takes me to like an art museum, I'm always like, "What am I looking at?"
You let your wife take you to an art museum?
You remember, I'm early in the marriage, so I'm all those things I'm still learning.
I
need your advice. That's exactly what I don't need.
You got to put your foot down with a firm hand. Foot down with a firm hand.
So you let your wife takes you to the art gallery. Craig gets his wife to go to golf with him.
Well, all right.
No. She doesn't want to play golf. I gave her some left-handed clubs to try. She couldn't use them.
Okay. All right, next question. Final question. Robbo, do you see sacking Arteta as Arsenal's best option to avoid relegation and turn things around? Or are there too many players currently at this club that do not belong at Arsenal? Can't help but think Shaka Mustafi had that list, to name a few.
Yeah, there's a lot of players that aren't good enough to make Arsenal a better team. But at the moment, I wouldn't sack Mikel Arteta. I think he's got to be given a little bit more time. I'm not sure he's the manager that's going to take them to the very top. But I don't think it would be the right time to sack him now. I don't think Arsenal will be relegated either. They'll probably end up mid-table or just above and then make a decision at the end of the season.
You don't think they're bad enough to get relegated, Robbo?
No, I don't think they are. There's much worse teams than Arsenal. They've got just about good enough players to get halfway up and maybe a little bit higher.
Wow.
You think so?
No, I don't think they'll be relegated. We shouldn't be having that conversation really about a club of that stature. But if they lose at the weekend and Brighton win, who are playing Sheffield United, they could go above them.
Yeah, they're 5 points, I think, from the danger zone right now.
Yeah. I mean,
like Arteta's not the guy you want in if they do get into a relegation
No, Robbo's
scrap,
right. Look, there's some water to go under the bridge before they get to the stage of.
But are we just saying that because it's Arsenal? If anybody else was 15th in the table right now, we'd be talking about them looking at a relegation fight the rest of the way and playing like this.
Yeah, but they've got the players to be not where they are. But they're having a bad run. But I think the disappointing thing for Arsenal fans was the end of the season, there was some encouragement with the FA Cup and with other games about team shape, about little things he was trying within the games. But I think Stuart mentioned it on the show, he's searching. And when you search, you start changing personnel, you start changing shape, you start confusing players. And sometimes you just got to stick with something. I mean, obviously when you have injuries, sometimes you can't, or when you have an idiots getting sent off who are now suspended. But sometimes you've got to find a shape and say, listen, we're going to stick with this through thick and thin. We're going to work with it, and we're going to go to the training ground, and this is what we're going to do. But when you start chopping and changing every week, that's a worry and a problem.
All right,
and that's way too much on Arsenal, by the way.
That's
who've been abysmal.
We saved it for extra time, for the very end of extra time. All right, that's it from us here in the ESPN FC studios. Thanks to everyone.
We're in the B studio today.
We are. This is the B studio.
Somebody's in our studio.
Someday we'll get in the A studio. You're going to go up there right now. You're going to go up there and clear them out, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll clear it out.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.